Hi, welcome back to Raunchy Reality Recaps. Now, in this video, we're going over Love After Lockup with Andy and Brittney. Now, I haven't been around for the past few episodes. These YouTube people keep on taking it off YouTube before I can get a chance to watch it. So if you're a YouTube watcher like me and can't afford to spend no money on this, definitely look at it like Saturday or Sunday because it will straight up go off. And if I haven't been here in a while at all on this channel, it's because school, sicknesses, me being sick, kids being sick, it's been a mess over the past couple months, but I'm happy back to be here. Now, in the past couple episodes, we've seen where Brittney got out of jail and then she straight up took Andy over to her son's birthday, but instead of telling him that he wasn't going to come in, she straight up says, hey, you're going to have to wait out here a couple hours with him and his son in the parking lot, which was really messed up. It was like, I do think that it's a good thing that her son didn't meet her boyfriend right after she came out of prison. Like, I get that. Completely get that. But how she went about it is wrong. Completely wrong. Like, you should have told this man a way ahead of time, not even let him think it was even a possibility for him to come in. Like, straight up tell him, hey, I'm not going to have you meet my son right after I get out of prison. I don't think that's right. And he would have probably understood. And then he could have made arrangement. Probably wouldn't have spent all that time baking that cake. But yet she didn't want to do that. So she's already kind of like ick people. People don't already like her. Now, and I think Andy actually gave her $500 too. So this man gets you out of prison, gives you all this nice stuff, gives you money. Which, why are we giving people with substance abuse issues that came right out of prison money? Makes no sense, people. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anywho, so she's been back and forth with her daughter that's kind of upset when she's coming out of prison, which is understandably because the girl's been through a lot. Her mom is in prison, and now her mom is out of prison with this guy she don't really know and on a TV show. It's a lot of process for me almost being 40. I could only imagine a teenager or a young adult going through this. So I completely understand her daughter's emotions being back and forth. However, Brittney, I have a problem with Brittney. Now, apparently in the last couple of episodes, that's what happened, and they've been staying in this hotel. Well, in this episode, it starts out with Andy walking up to the hotel room with 2 coffees, probably getting ready to leave because he said in the episode that, they weren't supposed to stay there the night before, but they did, all because, Brittney's having it out with her emotions, her feeling guilty, her daughter's issues. She wants to she wants to make things good with her daughter before she leaves. But girl, you had years and years that you screwed up your relationship with your child. It's not going to happen in a couple of days, sweetie. You're not going to make that relationship any better in a couple days. You're not going to clear up all that stuff you did for her in a couple days. It's going to take time. Now, Brittney, for some reason, thinks Andy has a limited amount of money, which it might be because Andy told her that she has a limited amount of money. Now, have you mind? I might be wrong on this because I've getting my episodes from YouTube and whatever I can catch on other people's recaps. So I might be a little bit wrong on this. But we've seen in the past how people on the outside play these people in the prison saying they have all this money and they don't. Remember Ashley and Travis? That was it, right? Yeah, them two. Ashley made it out that he was going to come into the life of luxury, and 3 weeks later he was packing up trying to find a home with his mama. So there you have it. But I think it's very aware now, seeing how he doesn't want to stay that long. And the fact that, it's not like he's living in this huge house or everything. And nothing against trailers. Trust me, I lived in them before too. But don't tell me he's living in a single wide 30-year-old trailer probably, and he has all this money that he can just blow every night on a hotel. Because I don't care where the hotel's at, it's expensive. And after a few nights, that's a lot of money. So she's just thinking Andy can sit here and keep on blowing money on a hotel room for her to build back her relationship with her children. Which is we're all like, come on, girl. Like, dude, you're using this man. Don't want to give him no loving, which I'm on the side where it's like, this is a mutual agreement between adults right here, because we all know that they know exactly what they're doing. They're wanting to get somebody to pay their way when they get out because they need something set up, and the people on the outside is paying all this money, hopefully getting booty on the out, getting paying all the money on the inside to hopefully get booty on the outside. So please explain to me how these women and men in prison don't, and it's mostly the women in prison, how these women in prison don't understand this. That they are literally sitting there, and I'm pretty sure that they discussed some dirty stuff. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that they weren't sitting there the whole time talking about their favorite books. No, they were on the phone in the prison talking about all the stuff they're going to do to this person on the outside when they get out, so that way they send more money on the inside. Tell me that's not wrong, okay? We all know that. But anywho, so Andy goes in, asks her what's going on, and she starts talking about, how she wants this relationship with her kids and everything, and especially her daughter. And Andy's like, I know you don't want me to say this, but I'm gonna say it. You feel guilty over this and everything, but I think, this isn't good for you. Not being here isn't good for you, and we need to go back home to where he's at in Rome, Georgia. And she kind of got mad when he said that she felt guilty, and he even said it's not nothing that you haven't said before yourself, which I'm pretty sure she did. So it's like she's just finding stuff to get mad at. People call you out on what your own words were, and you're still getting upset about it. And she's like, well, I just can't leave my kids here. And it's like, girl, you don't have custody of your kids. Okay? You don't. You're not leaving your kids. You done let them years ago when you were in prison. Okay? You're not leaving your kids. You done left them. You don't have custody of them. Right now, you need to focus on getting yourself better and getting yourself established so you can get your kids back. Okay? So if you go, I know, I get it. She don't want to leave her kids and everything, but I'm kind of a little bit agreement on, I don't like Andy. But I do agree with him that she's going back to this town where she got in all this trouble, was able to get all those substances and everything, knows all these people that easily connect to. I mean, it's not a good idea for her to stay in that town right now. It's not. And I mean, she's like, well, I want to see my kids. But girl, how often are you going to see your kids? Because you don't have custody of them. Okay. So even if it was, you were able to see your kids, make an arrangement like every other weekend, like other parents that are divorced and like things like that. Every other weekend, bring the kids down to Andy's house, You staying up there, how many times besides that boy's birthday party has she actually seen her kids besides her oldest daughter? And not only that, she's thinking, like, she's not even thinking, where is she going to stay? Like, she really thinks Andy's supposed to keep on forking out money for a hotel room. That's what gets a lot of people. She's basically using him, but yet she don't want to, give him any loving or anything like that because the girl's not attracted to him. She's not attracted to him at all. Yeah. So anyways, she starts also talking in a confessional, where they have a little interview on the side saying, I thought Andy was, would be understanding of this. He's a girl dad. She even said to Andy she wanted him to bring them together, help what he can do to help bring her and her daughter together. And, instead of what she thinks he's trying to do is tear them apart. And again, that's not what he's trying to do. Homeboy is just tired of paying for a hotel room at this point, okay? His funds are low and he's tired of paying for a hotel room. So, they kind of get into a little spat and everything about it, back and forth. And she basically says, I'm going to stay here. And it's like, are you going to stay in the hotel room? Because who's going to pay for it? Because You really think just Andy's going to go back home and pay for your hotel room while you stay there for like a week, 2 weeks and everything? You really think that homeboy has all that money? Like, girl, seriously, you need to think about, like, she's not even thinking where, like, does she think the money comes from the skies? Like, dude, if the guy had a whole bunch of money, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be hitting it up on Love After Lockup trying to make that $2,000 check per episode. So, yeah. Again, Brittney, can you think about this? Where are you going to stay? Are you allowed to stay with family members? Because I haven't heard much about that either. Yeah, it's a lot of people. So she tells Andy, she wants to stay here and mend her relationship with her daughter. And, Andy's like, cool, she's like, well, cool, what? And basically he's like, okay, well, I guess me and my son won't be here. I guess we'll go back home. And that's when she's like, oh, that's the most self-absorbed thing I've ever heard. And she goes on a confessional and she starts talking about how, she was a terrible mother, but he's so self-absorbed. That's the most selfish thing she's ever heard. And he's trying to like say, well, put yourself in my shoes. And she was like, well, if that was the case, and I tell you, you go out, I'd go outside and wait and everything while you and your son handle everything, because I know there's a whole bunch of work you need to work on and all that stuff. And it's like, girl, you're still not getting the issue. The issue is the man since spent all this money on this hotel room, and you want how many other days is it going to take for you to be all right enough to come back home? Like, is he supposed to stay there? And then she says, you are the most self-absorbed person I have ever known. She says that to him, and he's like, well, how? And she's like, well, you said you want me to do everything for you. You want me to leave for you. And then when I don't, I want to stay here with my daughter. You're just going to leave with your son. That's selfish. And it's like, girl, this man, I understand. I don't like Andy either. Again, I don't like the man. I don't like them. I don't like most of the people on the show, but I don't like him. And a lot of people don't like him. A lot of people find him greasy, sleazy, and I completely understand that. But the fact that this girl's going to call him self-absorbed when she is not paying for that hotel room, okay? She don't want to see where he's coming from. Like, the man lives in a trailer in the middle of Georgia. He doesn't have, it's not like he has these stacks and stacks of money. Most of the time in these scenarios, a person doesn't have that much money. But she's not willing to see where he's coming from, yet she want to call him self-absorbed, which totally blew my mind. So anywho, that's when he walks out the door. She's kind of laughing at the situation, and it's like, girl, like, what do you want him to do? Do you want him to spend weeks in a hotel room depleting his savings, not working and everything, so you can try to build a relationship with this child, which you took years and years of you screwing up? Like, come on. At this point, a few days or a few weeks isn't going to mend your relationship with your daughter. You've spent years screwing that up. It's going to take a long time to build that back up. And it probably wasn't the best idea. If you really wanted to focus on your kids and everything, it probably wasn't the best idea to, number one, have a man on the outside. You should have just said no, okay? And figured it out another way besides having a man support you. And number two, you're bringing along a whole camera crew from WeTV. Like, tell me how this is going to make your relationship better with your daughter. Like, she's really annoying. I really don't like Brittney at all. But anywho, so Andy leaves the room, and then you see Brittney talking about how, she had better arguments with the toddler and everything, which, Girl, please. So anyways, he's going outside the hotel room to talk to his friend on the phone, basically saying how, she switched from one day to, whole attitude switched on her. Basically saying, he was trying to get her away from all this drama because she told him that's what triggers her, and he's trying to get her home. Which, I mean, Andy, just say you're broke and you don't want to spend no money on a hotel room. I mean, that's a good enough reason for you to be like, hey, I don't want to be here anymore because I don't want to spend another $100 and something dollars on a hotel room for you just to tell me tomorrow that you're not leaving. So yeah, Annie, you just tell the guy you're broke. But anyway, she's in the hotel room, getting ready, packing up all her stuff. And while he's out on the phone, she straight up dips out, goes down there with her daughter, who her 18-year-old daughter, who's in the car and everything, and just drives off. And that's when they go back and show that she straight up he gave her a phone, he gave her $500. Now he don't even know what's gonna go on, because seriously, I mean, again, you're giving somebody money, like, just straight up, if you want to give somebody money, I'll send you my address, you can send it right to me. But anywho, so he goes in his son's hotel room, tells him what's going on, and then he's like, well, you just sit tight. I'm going to go pack up my stuff in this hotel room. I hope Andy, like, straight up, if I was Andy, I'd be like, okay, son, let's go. Let's pack up everything, pay for the hotel, or, check out of the hotel and get going. She can figure it out on her own. She got $500. She can buy herself her own hotel room if she don't spend the money on, you know what I mean? So that's when Andy leaves, and then his son, straight up, as soon as he leaves, he dials his sister, and he tells her what's going on, and his sister's like, yeah, so in conclusion, he got played, which is exactly right. He gave her money, he gave her a phone, he's paid for a hotel room, and the girl don't even want to go home back with him, which, exactly. And then, also, before that, we see Brittney in the hotel room talking about, how, it's kind of weird for him, be a cop and everything. He likes control and everything. I don't think he's going to try to control you. He just don't want to spend the money on the hotel room. I'm pretty sure the man ain't got that much money on him, and he ain't trying to spend all of his bill money on a hotel room. So call me controlling, but you also can call me cheap at the same time. You know what I mean? So anywho, she ends up talking about how he's all controlling and everything, and how he was a police officer. Why was he on this website? Talking to, vulnerable people trying to get their stuff together. And it's like, okay, yeah, maybe he shouldn't have been on there, but homegirl, you were on there too. You were on there too, fishing for somebody. And if seriously, this is where I get irritated about these people talking about how, he was giving me money and everything, and now I don't like him and all that stuff. Just be honest. Just say, hey, you know what? I was using him while I was in prison. I needed some money for some canteen stuff, and somebody was willing to give it to me if I talk a little sweet in their ears. And I'd have more respect for you than coming out and playing a victim because you took somebody's money and now they want something in return. So all you had to do was say, you know what? I don't want no money from you. I don't want any money. You don't send me money. Our relationship's like that. I want something real with you. Or if you don't like him, you can be like, hey, I don't want your money. I don't see this going anywhere. I'm not really attractive for you, and I ain't going to see you on your outside. So just don't send me money. But you were on that website, and I'm pretty sure you accepted money from him. So, sweetie, you just as bad as he is. But anywho, this is all I got for this week. Sorry it was a little bit long, trying to catch up with everything. Y'all have a great day. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye.